August 8, 1942. 01, 12 hours. Savo Island. Heavy cruiser. USS Quincy shudders violently. Captain Samuel Moore grips the bridge rail as another Japanese 8-inch shell detonates below the waterline. His ship has taken 37 hits in 6 minutes. Engines gone. Power failing. Total darkness surrounds them. No moon, no stars, just black ocean. Japanese cruisers fire, flash orange for 1 second, then vanish like ghosts. Moore grabs the 1MC microphone, voice steady despite the chaos. All hands, prepare to abandon ship. 19-year-old seaman second class Leroy Johnson from Macon, Georgia, fumbles for his life jacket 3 decks below. His best friend Billy from Alabama got hit by shrapnel 30 seconds ago. Neck wound, gone instantly. Johnson reaches the main deck as another shell lands 10 feet away. Blast throws him into oil-slicked water. Quincy rolls over. 300 men scream as they drown. Burning fuel lights patches of sea orange. Johnson swims blindly, choking on oil, listening to his shipmates die. He finds a floating hatch, clings to it 12 hours. USS Quincy loses 389 killed. Battle ends 58 minutes after first contact. 4 Allied heavy cruisers sunk, 1 destroyer crippled. 0 Japanese losses. Every surviving captain reports the same. Enemy completely invisible. Fired at muzzle flashes only. Could not acquire targets. This was not bad luck. This was 20 years of Japanese training. Since 1930, Imperial Japanese Navy practiced night combat exclusively. Captains learned ship silhouettes against starlight at 2,000 yards. Gunnery officers drilled 5,000-yard firing solutions blindfolded. Lookouts identified Iowa-class battleships by turret spacing in total darkness. Type 93 Long Lance torpedoes reached 20,000 yards at 50 knots. No smoke trail. No other Navy possessed such weapons or training. Captain Tanaka Raizo commanded Destroyer Division 2 at Savo. His after-action report stated, "Enemy appeared blind. Identified Quincy class immediately by bridge structure, guns bore in 12 seconds, long lances acquired solution undetected. Tanaka fired 24 torpedoes, 12 hit. 4,000 Allied sailors died. Savo Island marked the birth of Tokyo Express. Marines seized Henderson Field intact August 7th, 200 miles from Japanese headquarters at Rabaul. Japan could not tolerate American air power that close. Carriers unavailable after Midway losses. Solution: destroyers. Fast. 36 knots through the slot channel. Each carried 200 troops or 200 tons rice and ammunition. Leave Rabaul after dark. Reach Guadalcanal before dawn. Unload. Return before Marine aircraft flew. First run, August 13th, 6 destroyers, 2,500 troops delivered, 0 losses, Marines' wake surrounded. Second run, August 14th, 4 destroyers, more troops, 0 losses. August 18th, Admiral Tanaka leads 8 destroyers with Colonel Ichiki's assault regiment, 0 losses. Ichiki attacks Alligator Creek August 21st, 900 Japanese charge machine guns across open ground, 700 dead in 20 minutes. Marines lose 35. Japanese response: send more. Major General Kawaguchi lands 6,000 China veterans at Taivu Point August 31st. Tokyo Express accelerates, 12 destroyers per run, sometimes 2 runs nightly. Marines counter with coast watchers spotting convoys 50 miles out. No interception possible. Dawn reveals new Japanese divisions daily. September 1st. Henderson Field faces 10,000 attackers. Marines hold with 13,000 total. Admiral Richmond Turner paced USS Macaulay's bridge off Tulagi. They own the night, he told staff. Intelligence Officer Commander John McCain spread decrypted orders across the chart table. They know our picket position, sir. Time runs between patrols. Night equals freedom. McCain tapped Iron Bottom Sound entrance. One radar destroyer here, one at Sea Lark. Japanese transit between at 36 knots. Our pickets make 18. Turner stared. We need faster. Something seeing in darkness. Something hunting. The mismatch proved fundamental. American doctrine demanded 20,000-yard daylight gunnery. Japanese closed to 5,000 yards at night. U.S. cruisers carried Mark 37 directors for battleship ranges. Low-elevation guns absent. Searchlights blinded American crews, revealed positions. Admiral Fletcher withdrew carriers after 2 days fearing air attack. Night destroyer assaults proved unstoppable. September 11th. Henderson Field holds Edson's Ridge. 600 Japanese dead counted. That night's Tokyo Express delivers 1,800 fresh troops. Admiral Gormley cables from Noumea cannot prevent reinforcement. Night transit unopposed. Nimitz reads in Pearl Harbor, underlines night transit unopposed. Relieves Gormley next day. Halsey takes South Pacific Command. Halsey's first order to Captain Gilbert Hoover, USS Helena. Your ship survived Pearl Harbor. Carries SG radar. San Francisco does not. Take her to Guadalcanal. Kill destroyers at night. Hoover replied, SG radar sees 12 miles surface. Long lance maximum 20,000 yards. We fire first? Halsey. First good news I've heard. October 11th, 1942. Cape Esperance. Helena leads Task Force 64. 4 cruisers, 5 destroyers. Radar spots Admiral Goto's bombardment squadron at 27,000 yards. Japanese completely blind. Helena opens fire 9,000 yards. 6-inch shells destroy Furutaka's bridge. Admiral Goto killed instantly. Japanese formation disintegrates. Helena expends 1,600 rounds in 14 minutes. Barrels red hot. Japanese lose 2 heavy cruisers sunk, 1 damaged. 0 American losses. Hoover's action report. Enemy never sighted visually until muzzle flashes appeared 4,000 yards. Japanese General Staff receives reports. Captain Tanaka writes, Americans fight effectively at night. Radar suspected. Long lance advantage lost beyond visual range. Guadalcanal now hinges on single question. Can America seize the night? October 11th, 1942. 23:15 hours. Cape Esperance. USS Helena races southeast at 28 knots through 15-foot seas. Captain Gilbert Hoover stands in the pilot house beside Lieutenant Henry Mayo, radar officer. The SG radar screen glows green 20 feet away. Mayo tracks 2 surface contacts bearing 265 degrees, 27,000 yards. Heavy cruiser, sir. Goto's bombardment force, steaming straight for Guadalcanal. Hoover nods. Range to flashless powder limit. Mayo checks the ready magazine. 9,000 yards, sir. 1,600 rounds available. Hoover turns to Executive Officer Charles McDonald. Signal Scott on San Francisco. Maintain radio silence. We position independently. McDonald hesitates. Admiral Scott's orders specify column formation. Hoover's voice hardens. Radar shows enemy column directly across our T. We cross their bow. Execute. Helena surges ahead, breaking formation. San Francisco maintains Admiral's course. Hoover watches radar plot. Japanese cruisers maintain 16 knots, unaware. Helena reaches 8,000 yards undetected, 2,343 hours. Mayo reports, enemy range falling fast, 6,000 yards, perfect firing solution. Hoover lifts phone to main battery. Gun 0 elevation, fire when turrets bare. 23:46 hours. Helena's 6-inch turrets roar. First salvo slams Furutaka's bridge. Admiral Goto killed instantly by 33 shells. Japanese cruisers panic, scatter blindly. Helena shifts fire to Aoba, pumps 400 rounds into superstructure. Furutaka burns, loses steering. Helena expends 1,600 rounds in 14 minutes. 6-inch barrels glow red-hot from sustained fire. Japanese lose Furutaka sunk, Aoba crippled. 0 American losses. Commander William Colvin, Helena's gunnery officer, watches brass casings cascade across deck. "Never fired that fast," he tells Pointer. "Radar gave us 15 minutes head start." Hoover's action report states, "Enemy never sighted visually until muzzle flashes appeared 4,000 yards. Radar acquisition, first contact, 27,000 yards." Admiral Scott, aboard San Francisco, furious at Hoover breaking formation, nonetheless, cables Halsey. Helena firing extremely accurate, enemy routed. Halsey forwards to Nimitz. First clear night surface victory. Word spreads through Solomons. Radar works. But problems remain. SG radar sees surface 12 miles, loses submerged submarines beyond 2,000 yards. Mark 37 gun directors require visual spotters for fall of shot. Night optics fail against rain squalls. Japanese long lances still outrange American torpedoes 5-1. Cape Esperance proves concept possible, not doctrine perfected. October 1942. Commander John McCain works 18-hour shifts in Turner's intelligence hutment at Tulagi. Polio left him unable to walk without crutches, but his brain processes decrypted Japanese orders faster than anyone. McCain notices pattern in Tokyo Express schedules. They avoid Savo Island on even-numbered moon phases, run the slot south side outbound, north side inbound. Destroyer Division 2 carries troops. Division 10 carries ammunition. McCain plots Japanese destroyer movements against American picket destroyer positions. Tanaka knows our radar pickets, times transits between patrols, moves divisions to confuse aerial reconnaissance. Turner asks, "Solutions?" McCain spreads chart. Threefold. First, move pickets unpredictably using decoded schedules. Second, forward position SG radar destroyers inside the slot. Third, develop Mosquito boat harassment force operating inside destroyer screen. Halsey approves all three. Nicknamed Bull for aggressive style, he tells staff, "Japanese own night because they planned for it 30 years. We own night when we decode their plans and shoot first. First change, radar picket repositioning. USS Taylor, first SG-equipped Fletcher-class destroyer, patrols Savo Island instead of Sealark Channel, October 24th. Taylor's radar picks up 8 destroyers at 15 miles. Captain McConnell signals Helena Group, enemy Division 2 bearing 120, 14 miles, course 220, 24 knots. Hoover maneuvers cruisers ahead. Japanese enter Savo completely blind. Taylor illuminates with star shell. Helena opens fire at 11,000 yards. Japanese destroyer Makigumo takes first hit. Bridge destroyed. Captain Oishi killed. 6 destroyers scatter at flank speed. Makigumo abandoned burning. First Tokyo Express ship lost to radar ambush. Japanese reaction immediate. Combined Fleet Intelligence reports, American destroyers equipped unknown detection system effective beyond visual range. Enemy acquires firing solutions before visual contact. Admiral Tanaka receives report aboard flagship Kagero. Night advantage compromised, must develop countermeasures. Tanaka orders searchlight screens forward of destroyers to blind American radar. Orders strict radio silence. Begins zigzag patterns inside the slot. Runs double the escorts. McCain decodes changes within 48 hours. They're sacrificing speed for formation integrity. Radar pickets can intercept shorter runs. November 12, 1942. Guadalcanal's worst night. Japanese battleships Hiei and Kirishima lead 14 destroyers down the slot to bombard Henderson Field. Admiral Lee commands Task Force 67. Washington, South Dakota, 4 destroyers, no cruisers. Halsey's orders: engage regardless losses, protect airfield at all costs. Little 4 to 1 hours. USS Laffey's radar picks up battleships at 22,000 yards. Captain McConnell reports 2 battleships, 12 destroyers, course 270, 20 knots. Lee orders destroyers forward screen. Laffey leads charge into Japanese van. 0:48 hours. Japanese battleships open fire at visual range 9,000 yards. Laffey takes 4 14-inch shells in 30 seconds. Forward magazine detonates. Ship disintegrates. 104 killed instantly. Destroyer Barton takes torpedo, sinks immediately. Laffey survivors in water hear Japanese cheers. South Dakota takes 37 hits, loses power, radar, lights. Japanese concentrate on dark silhouette. Washington holds fire until 6,000 yards. 16-inch shells find Hiei's superstructure. Japanese battleship burns, loses steering. Kirishima engages Washington point blank. 16-inch versus 14-inch duel at 3,000 yards. Washington scores 9 hits. Kirishima loses fire control steering. Japanese destroyers launch 32 long lances. Washington dodges all. Counterfloods to comb wakes. Dawn, November 13th. Hiei burns dead in water, sunk by air attack. Kirishima scuttled by crew. Americans lose 2 destroyers, 38 killed. Japanese lose 2 battleships, 1 destroyer damaged. Lee's log: radar acquisition critical. Visual gunnery impossible in smoke and rain. McCain analyzes reports at Tulagi. Japanese night optics failed in rain squalls. Our radar maintained continuous track. Battleships maneuvered by dead reckoning only. McCain briefs Turner. 3 elements converging: radar acquisition, decoded schedules, aggressive commanders willing to close range, night parity approaching. Halsey receives McCain's assessment, orders 10 additional SG radar destroyers rushed from states. Mosquito boat squadrons doubled. Coast Watcher network expanded to Vela La Vela, Kolombangara. Japanese Tokyo Express faces hunter-killer net tightening daily. November 30th, 1942, Battle of Tassafaronga. Tanaka's Destroyer Division 1 runs 8 destroyers carrying 1,800 troops. Radar picket USS Fleming spots formation at 19 miles. Captain McConnell. Division 1, course 240, 28 knots. Helena Group maneuvers to intercept. Japanese spot American column first. Tanaka fires 24 long lances at 15,000 yards. USS Northampton takes 3 torpedoes, sinks next day. USS Helena damaged but survives. USS Juno takes 2 torpedoes, limps away. American tactical disaster, but Japanese lose 0 destroyers. Tokyo Express delivers troops successfully. Tanaka's report to Combined Fleet: enemy radar dangerous but predictable. Column formation allows massed long lance fire. Night remains ours. McCain studies charts. Tanaka right: column doctrine exposes us. Disperse radar pickets. Develop independent destroyer sections. Mosquito boats fill gaps. Halsey signs orders: disperse, hunt independently. Mosquito boats attack first. Force course changes into destroyer ambushes. December 1942. First PT Boat Squadron arrives Tulagi. Lieutenant Commander Alan McFerrin takes command of 12 Elco 80-footers. Each carries 4 Mark 18 torpedoes, twin 50-cal machine guns, 20mm cannon, 39 knots maximum speed, wooden hulls, no armor. 12-man crews averaging 22 years old. McFerrin briefs squadron. Japanese expect destroyers. We give them speedboats from nowhere, radar pickets spot. We attack first pass, destroyers clean up. First patrol. December 5th, PT-122 spots 4 destroyers at 3 miles. McFerrin leads 3-boat section, closes to 1,000 yards undetected, fires 8 torpedoes. Japanese destroyer Hayashio takes 2 hits, explodes. First Tokyo Express killed by mosquito boat. Japanese combined fleet receives reports from 3 battles: Cape Esperance, naval battle Guadalcanal, Tassafaronga. Radar confirmed, Long Lance advantage reduced. Mosquito craft reported, night doctrine revision ordered. America's night war enters new phase. Radar sees. Mosquito boats sting. Code breakers predict. Destroyers wait. Japanese night monopoly cracking. December 7th, 1942. 20:45 hours. Tulagi Harbor. Lieutenant Commander Alan McFerrin stands dockside watching 12 Elco 77-foot PT boats tied up in neat rows. Each boat carries 4 Mark 18 electric torpedoes, twin 50-caliber machine guns forward, single 20mm Oerlikon amidships, depth charges aft. 3 Packard 4M 2500 engines promise 41 knots maximum speed. Wooden hulls, no armor. 12-man crews averaging age 22. McFerrin, 31, veteran of Asiatic Squadron Yangtze patrols, knows these boats face 36-knot Japanese destroyers carrying 8-inch guns and Long Lance torpedoes. McFerrin gathers skippers under single bulb. Lieutenant Hank Brabham, PT-122, Ensign Joey Antonelli, PT-171, Lieutenant Junior Grade Arleigh McFerrin, no relation. Japanese expect Fletcher-class destroyers making 18 knots. McFerrin begins. Radar pickets spot them 15 miles out. We launch from 5 miles. Close 1,000 yards. Fire torpedoes. Force course changes into waiting destroyers. Wooden boats burn fast. Evasion is survival. First patrol assigned, Blackett Strait, 5-mile-wide choke point between Colombangara and Vella La Vella. Radar picket USS Taylor position north entrance, PT Squadron south. McFerrin takes PT-122 center, Brabham PT-123 starboard, Antonelli PT-171 port. 2330 hours. Boats depart Tulagi single file at 15 knots, muffled exhausts trailing, seas running 6 feet, spray soaks crews to skin. 0030 hours, December 8th. Taylor signals 8 destroyers bearing 280, course 150, 26 knots, Division 2 confirmed. McFerrin acknowledges increases to 25 knots. Blackett Strait entrance 15 minutes away. Japanese formation unknown, but estimated 2 columns of 4. Troops aboard. Rice bags lashed to decks. 042 hours. PT-122 crests wave. McFerrin spots dark shapes 3 miles ahead through binoculars. 8 destroyers in 2 columns. Port destroyer leading each pair. Perfect firing geometry. McFerrin signals. Attack as briefed. 1,000 yards. Fire 2 fish each. Engines surge to full throttle. Boats leap forward. Bows lifting clear of waves. 45 hours. Japanese lookout spot wakes simultaneously. Lead destroyer Akigumo swings searchlight across water. Beam catches PT-122 dead center. 25mm aircraft guns open fire. Tracers whip overhead. Antonelli's PT-171 takes shell through bow torpedo tube. Forward compartment floods. McFerrin holds course 400 yards. Fire 1. Torpedo leaps from starboard tube. Bubbles phosphorescent wake toward Akigumo. Fire 2. Port torpedo follows. 046 hours. First torpedo strikes Akigumo amidships. 17 tons TNT detonate under bridge. Forward half disintegrates. Second torpedo hits engine room. Akigumo breaks in 2, sinks in 90 seconds. 260 crew dead. Second destroyer Natsugumo swings toward PT boats, 5-inch gun elevates. Brabham's PT-123 launches 2 torpedoes 300 yards. Both miss as Natsugumo combs, wakes. McFerrin breaks left at full rudder. PT-122 shudders crossing own wake. 20mm cannon hammers Japanese bridge. Sparks fly from pagoda mast. Japanese destroyer column panics. Radar picket Taylor illuminates with star shells. USS Helena and 3 destroyers appear Savo Island side, drawn by gunfire. Japanese commander signals retreat full speed. Natsugumo collides with troop-carrying destroyer Hayashio during turn. PT-171, flooding forward, limps clear trailing oil. Dawn reveals Akigumo wreckage, rice bags, bodies, wooden sandals floating across Blackett Strait. First Tokyo Express destroyer sunk by mosquito boats. 260 Japanese dead, 0 American losses. McFerrin cables, Turner. Akigumo sunk 2 torpedoes 1,000 yards, squadron intact. Japanese Combined Fleet Headquarters, Rabaul receives report next morning. Captain Tanaka Raiso, now operations officer, reads survivor accounts. Small fast boats appeared 3 miles undetected. Torpedoes fired 400 yards. Exceeded visual reaction time. Tanaka briefs Yamamoto. American Mosquito craft fill gap between radar pickets and main battle line. Night transit now requires triple escorts. McFerrin returns Tulagi, Z0630. Carpenter crews swarm PT-171, plug holes with mattresses, plywood. McFerrin debriefs skippers. Japanese searchlights blinded gunners. Torpedo spread worked. Destroyer collision bonus. Next time, expect double escorts. Halsey cables from Noumea. First Express killed by small craft. Double PT boat production. Triple basin. December 1942. Motor Torpedo Boat Squadron. 3. Expands to 24 boats. Bases established Empress Augusta Bay, Sterling Island. McFerrin trains Wolfpack tactics. 3 boat sections attack simultaneously different bearings. Radar pickets vector boats onto targets using decoded schedules. John McCain at Tulagi processes Japanese destroyer rotations. Division 2 Tuesdays rice. Division 10 Thursdays ammunition. Division 1 weekends troops. January 2nd, 1943, Vela Gulf. PT-124, commanded by Ensign George Brown, spots 6 destroyers midnight. Squadron launches from 3 miles. PT-124, 125, 126. Japanese formation scatters under machine gun fire. Brown fires 2 torpedoes into lead ship. Misses. Japanese destroyer Suzunami swings toward boats. 5-inch shells straddling PT-125. Lead boat explodes. 5 crew swim clear. Picked up by PT-124. Japanese break contact. Transit successfully. McFerrin analyzes loss. Suzunami anticipated attack vector. Single section predictable. Need coordinated 4-boat attacks from different bearings. Halsey approves formation PT squadrons into hunter-killer groups mirroring destroyer tactics. Each group contains veteran boats, green boats, mothership for fuel, ammo. January 25, 1943, Gizo Strait. Lieutenant Commander Thomas Gladwin commands PT Group Able, PT-128, 129, 137, 149. Radar picket USS Montgomery vectors onto 10 destroyers carrying Miyazuki Regiment from Rabaul. Japanese formation 2 columns abreast, destroyers screening troop transports forward. 2330 hours. Gladwin positions boats ambushing entrance. PT-128 forward starboard column, PT-129 forward port column, PT-137 aft starboard, PT-149 aft port. Perfect X formation. Japanese enter unaware at 28 knots. 2338 hours. All 4 boats attack simultaneously. 16 torpedoes launch 300 yards. Lead destroyer Fumizuki takes 3 hits. Magazine detonates. Second destroyer Nagasaki takes 2 torpedoes forward, loses bow. Troop transports swing violently, avoiding wrecks. Radar pickets converge. Helena Group arrives from north. Japanese commander orders counterattack. 4 destroyers charge PT boats. PT-137 takes 5-inch shell through engine room, sinks in 2 minutes. 9 crew lost. PT-149 withdraws trailing fire. Fumizuki wreckage blocks channel. Nagatsuki burns across full width. Transports reverse course. Abandoned mission. Dawn body count. 1,800 Japanese troops forced back to Rabaul. 2 destroyers heavily damaged. First-time Tokyo Express aborted before reaching Guadalcanal. Gladwin's boats expend 20 torpedoes. Lose 1 boat. Halsey. Wolfpack concept validated. Mosquitoes now hunt in packs. Japanese Naval General Staff convenes emergency conference. Captain Tanaka presents charts. PT boat losses. Akigumo. Fumizuki damaged. Nagatsuki damaged. Troop deliveries failed 3 times. Enemy employs coordinated small craft with radar-directed destroyers. Admiral Kusaka. Increased destroyer escorts to 12 per transport. Develop night fighters for mosquito boats. Accelerate radar development. McCain decodes Kusaka's orders 48 hours later. Briefs. Halsey. Japanese countermeasures confirmed. 12 destroyer screens predictable. Mosquito boats force dispersion into radar ambushes. Enemy night doctrine collapsing under numbers. February 1st, 1943. Kula Gulf. PT Squadron 3 intercepts 12 destroyer screen carrying 6th Infantry reinforcements. McFerrin leads 6 boats, 3 forward attack, 3 reserve. Japanese formation spreads across 5 miles responding to doctrine. Perfect mosquito trap. Forward boats expend 12 torpedoes. Destroyer Mikazuki takes single hit, slows to 10 knots. Reserve boats finish with 6 torpedoes. Mikazuki sinks. Japanese screen scatters. Transports reverse unsupported. Radar destroyers mop up stragglers. McFerrin cables Tulagi. Wolfpack success. 12 destroyer screen dispersed, 1 kill, mission aborted. Halsey forwards to Nimitz. Mosquito boat Wolfpacks neutralize Japanese night superiority. Guadalcanal supply line severed. Tokyo Express statistics shift dramatically. Pre-PT boats, 92% success rate. Post-Wolfpacks, 43% success rate. Japanese troop deliveries drop 68%. Rice shipments cut 82%. Henderson Field survives. Guadalcanal turns from siege to attrition war. America can win. Japanese destroyers now run the slot in daylight when possible, risking aircraft. Night runs require 20 ship formations, escorts outnumbering transports 3 to 1. Fuel consumption triples. Rabaul's supply dumps dwindle. McFerrin watches new boats unload at Tulagi. Squadron 3, now 36 boats. They came for quick kills, he tells executive officer. Now they hunt systems. Japanese night monopoly dead. We own darkness. Wolfpacks prowl. November 1st, 1943, 22:45 hours. Empress Augusta Bay. Lieutenant Commander Donald Van Rossen commands Destroyer Squadron 12, screening the Bougainville landings. His 6 destroyers form radar picket line 12 miles offshore. USS Foote, Wadsworth, Sterrett, Dyson, Nicholas, and O'Bannon. Each carries SG surface search radar, detecting 20 miles. Commander William Martin commands the inner screen from USS Montpelier, light cruiser with 4 sisters, Cleveland, Columbia, Denver, and USS Montpelier. Rear Admiral Aaron Merrill's Task Force 39 total, 1 light cruiser squadron, 1 destroyer squadron, 13 radar-equipped ships forming watertight night ambush. Van Rossen receives John McCain's decrypted intercept at 1800. Japanese 17th Army orders heavy cruiser division plus 2 destroyer divisions depart Rabaul 2200 for Bougainville bombardment. Sendai leading. Force objective Henderson Field equivalent airstrip. Van Rossen positions destroyers across St. George's Channel entrance. Merrill positions cruisers 30 miles seaward, ready to converge. 2,358 hours. Foote's radar paints first contacts, bearing 310, 22 miles. 12 surface ships maintaining 18 knots. Course 130. Captain Russell Griffin identifies 4 heavy cruisers, Sendai-class forward screen, 2 Sendai-class light cruisers center, 6 destroyers rear guard. Admiral Omori flagship. Van Rossen signals Merrill. Enemy force confirmed decrypted schedule, course direct Empress Bay. 002 hours, November the 2nd. Merrill maneuvers cruisers ahead. Van Rossen's destroyers hold picket station. Japanese formation maintains rigid column completely blind. No radar. Optical lookout scanning darkness. Omori receives Coast Watcher report of American landings, but disbelieves. Enemy beachhead unsupported. Bombardment proceeds. 8:02 7 hours. Foote illuminates with star shells. Merrill opens fire 11,000 yards. Montpellier leads 6-inch barrage into Sendai Van. First salvo destroys flagship bridge. Admiral Omori killed instantly. Sendai crippled burning. Japanese formation scatters blindly. Miyoko and Haguro, heavy cruisers reverse course full rudder. Destroyers charge forward screening flag damage. 0030 hours. Van Rossen orders destroyer charge. 6 Fletchers surge forward 29 knots. Mark 15 torpedoes armed 6,000-yard range. Japanese destroyers Hagekaze and Urakaze swing toward American column. Van Rossen. Individual sections. Fire independent. Foote launches 4 torpedoes. Sterett launches 4. Japanese lookout spot wakes visually 4,000 yards. Admiral Ijuin aboard Miyoko orders emergency turn. Collision occurs between Hagekaze and Urakaze, avoiding torpedoes. Both destroyers damaged. 0035 hours. Merrill shifts cruisers to crippled Sendai, 200 shells per minute. Sendai sinks, listing heavily. 340 crew lost. Agano light cruiser takes 36-inch hits, burns across full length, abandoned by crew. Japanese reform 3 miles north. Omori's replacement signals Rabaul. Flag lost. Reorganization required. 042 hours. PT boat Wolfpack emerges. Blanche Channel. Motor torpedo boat squadron. 6. PT 144, 145, 146, 147. Lieutenant Commander Thomas Gladwin leads. Radar picket vector. Enemy rearguard bearing 340, 5 miles. Course erratic. Gladwin positions boats ambushing destroyer screen. Japanese destroyers spot first, open 25mm fire. PT-144 takes shell through port engine. Gladwin holds course, launches 2 Mark 18s. Torpedo strikes Hatsukaze engine room. Destroyer slows dead in water. Joe 48 hours. Merrill cruisers re-engage at 8,000 yards. Columbia pumps shells into burning Agano. Light cruiser explodes magazine style, scatters across 3 square miles. Hatsukaze abandoned by crew. PT boats expend remaining torpedoes into crippled destroyers. Japanese flagship Miyoko leads withdrawal north at 24 knots. Remaining destroyers screen. Contact lost 0120 hours. Dawn reveals battlefield. Sendai sunk. Agano exploded. Hatsukaze burned out. 2 destroyers damaged. Japanese bombardment force annihilated before reaching shore. 0 American ships sunk. Merrill expends 2,500 6-inch shells. Van Rossen reports radar acquisition 22 miles. Visual contact impossible. Dew smoke. Rain. Decrypted schedule positioned us perfectly. Rabaul, Combined Fleet Headquarters, receives fragmentary reports. Captain Tanaka compiles survivor accounts. Enemy detected formation before visual range. Coordinated cruiser-destroyer PT boat attack. Radar confirmed operational all units. Night fighting doctrine obsolete against technical superiority. Admiral Kusaka orders. Heavy cruisers withdraw Rabaul. Destroyers operate daylight only. Tokyo Express suspended pending radar countermeasures. Motor torpedo boat squadrons expand to 80 boats across Solomons. Bases, Tulagi, Rendova, Empress Augusta Bay, Sterling Island. Commander Alan McFerrin commands MTB Flotilla 1, 60 Elco 80s, 20 Higgins, 78s. Wolfpack Doctrine Standard, 3 boat sections attack simultaneously, reserves clean up. Radar destroyers vector boats onto targets using McCain decrypted schedules. February 17, 1944, Kula Gulf. PT-169, commanded by Ensign William Abbott, intercepts Vice Admiral Koga Maneki's final Tokyo Express attempt. 12 destroyers screen 4 transports carrying 6th Division veterans from Rabaul. McCain decrypts sailing orders 48 hours prior. Departure 2200 February 16th. Destination Kolombangara. Troops 4200, rice 800 tons. 2205 hours. Radar picket USS Taylor spots formation 21 miles. Abbott's Wolfpack launches from Kolombangara shore. 6 PT boats attack in pairs. Lead destroyer Nawaki swings searchlight catching PT-169. 5-inch shells straddle. Abbott holds course 800 yards, launches 4 torpedoes. Nawaki combs first 2, takes third amidships. Torpedo detonates magazine. Destroyer disintegrates. 280 crew lost instantly. Second Wolfpack attacks, transports directly. PT-170 hits troop carrier Urakaze forward hold. 900 Japanese troops killed instantly. Transports reverse course abandoning mission. Radar cruisers converge from north. Japanese screen scatters under coordinated fire. Kula Gulf littered with burning wrecks by midnight. Abbott docks, PT-169, Rendova, 0400 trailing smoke. Forward, 20 Milano destroyed. Port Packard engine seized. 8 holes above waterline. Carpenter crews patch hull while Abbott debriefs. Nawaki tried same tactic as Suzunami. Anticipated attack vector. Held course anyway. Torpedo spread, beat countermeasures. McFerrin analyzes reports. Japanese destroyer screens now standard 12 ships. Mosquito boats force dispersion, creating cruiser shooting opportunities. Transport losses exceed combat losses, 3.1. Halsey cables Nimitz. Night superiority achieved. Tokyo Express neutralized as supply system. Japanese 17th Army Rabaul cables Tokyo. Destroyer losses unsustainable. Troop transports interdicted nightly. Kolombangara garrison strength 12,000 DOS requires 400 tons rice monthly. Current delivery 40 tons. Starvation imminent. Combined fleet orders. Tokyo Express operations terminated. Bypassed garrisons subsist independently. Admiral Koga to Emperor. Night surface operations no longer viable. American radar and small craft coordination exceed defensive capacity. South Pacific Night War reaches maturity. Radar pickets detect. Codebreakers predict. Mosquito boats force dispersion. Cruisers destroy. Destroyers finish. Japanese night monopoly shattered. Guadalcanal supply line severed permanently. Empress Augusta Bay victory cements doctrine. Merrill's coordinated kill becomes textbook case. Every Pacific commander studies radar logs, firing solutions, Wolfpack tactics. Night returns to Hunter, hunted dynamic. Japan loses weapon that sustained island empire. Wolfpacks continue hunting. March 15, 1944. 04 of 15 hours. Rendova Island. Ensign William Abbott grips PT-176 throttle levers, shrapnel scar burning across his left forearm from Nawaki's magazine blast 6 weeks prior. His Wolfpack patrols Kula Gulf, PT-176, 179, 182, 185. Boats scarred, mahogany plugs, seal bullet holes, engines rebuilt thrice, crews averaging 18 months sleepless combat. Tonight intercepts Admiral Koga's final Kolombangara reinforcement. 4th Infantry Regiment, 2,800 troops, 600 tons rice for 12,000 starving garrison. Hero 3:30 hours. Radar picket USS Taylor Vectors, 14 destroyers bearing 305, course 165, 27 knots. Abbott positions across 2-mile front. John McCain's decrypt confirms desperation. Kolombangara receives 40 tons monthly against 400-ton need. Coast watchers report cannibalism. 0432 hours. PT-176 radar paints lead destroyer 4 miles. Abbott signals. Able column 1. Baker column 2. 1,000 yards. Pairs. Boats surge 38 knots. Wakes glowing moonlight. Japanese lookout spot. Shigure swings searchlight. 25mm tracers whip skyward. Abbott holds 600 yards. Fire 1. Starboard torpedo leaps. Fire 2. Port follows. Shigure combs first, takes second amidships. Fire room detonates. Destroyer slows. Bow submerging. PT-179's Ensign Robert Casey hits troop transport Uzuki forward hold, 700 infantrymen packed tight. 17-ton warhead scatters wreckage 2 square miles. The hot 100 troops vaporized instantly. Transports reverse flank speed. Escorts scatter screening. Abbott finishes Shigure with reserve torpedoes. Third hit severs bow forward bridge. Destroyer plunges stern first. 290 crew drowned screaming. Radar cruisers converge northwest. USS Montpelier, under Captain Gilbert Hoover, intercepts, scattered per doctrine, individual sections. Montpelier expends 400 6-inch shells into Uzuki wreckage. Japanese launch 32 long lances blindly. Hoover tracks wakes on SG radar, combs perfectly. 0 hits. Dawn Kula Gulf. Shigure sunk. Uzuki obliterated. 3 destroyers damaged. 1,800 Japanese casualties pre-landing. Abbott docks. PT-176 trailing fire. Port engine seized. 47 25mm holes. Carpenter Chief shakes head. 1 more week, she'll dissolve. Halsey cables Nimitz from Noumea. Final Kolombangara attempt destroyed. Mosquito doctrine perfected. Nimitz forwards king. South Pacific night absolute. Tokyo Express dead. Rabaul. Captain Tanaka compiles for Kusaka. 117 destroyers sunk. 62,000 troops lost sea. Kolombangara starves. Kusaka cables Tokyo. Night operations impossible. April 1944. Kolombangara Garrison Commander Major General Masatane Koyama reads rice ration. 120 grams daily. Malaria kills 200 weekly. Coast Watcher Donald Kennedy reports to Lagi. Officers execute starving men refusing banzai. 200 deserters weekly eating dead horses. Koyama writes final order. Fix bayonets. Advance into jungle. Preserve honor. 8,000 men charge machine gun ridges. 6,200 killed day 1. Survivors eat fallen comrades confirmed by Marine patrols. June 1944. Admiral Koga briefs Emperor. Radar picket Mosquito cruiser coordination. Neutralize Long Lance. Rabaul, 40,000 garrison averages 82 pounds. Recommend bypass strategy? Hirohito nods silently. Commander Alan McFerrin briefs MTB flotilla, 1 Tulagi, 112 PT boats. 1942 they owned night. 1943 we matched. 1944 we exterminate. 28 destroyers sunk. 17,400 troops dead pre-landing. 14,200 tons rice ash. Guadalcanal statistics. Japanese planned 105,000 reinforcements. Delivered 37,000. Lost sea, 62,000. Henderson Field survives 18 months. Cactus Air Force flies 12,000 sorties. Halsey relieves South Pacific, February 1944. Farewell. Radar, codes, mosquitoes, aggressive commanders killed Japanese island empire. Commander John McCain receives Distinguished Service Medal Tulagi. Nimitz pins medal. Crutches aside. Polio took legs. Brains took Guadalcanal. McCain grips medal. 6 months beat 30 years training. Captain Gilbert Hoover commands Helena Pearl Harbor, June 1944. Logs archived. Cape Esperance first contact 27,000 yards. Kula Gulf, 14 simultaneous tracks. To reporters, night was theirs 1942, ours 1943. 1944, they stopped coming. Ensign Abbott receives Navy Cross Washington. Combat fatigue ends career. Testifies Congress, 42 boats lost, 387 killed, 117 warships sunk, 62,000 starved, wooden boats killed, steel empire. Committee chairman, one question, Ensign. Worth it? Abbott, ask Colomb Bangara's dead. Rabaul garrison formally dissolved August 1945. 40,000 survivors, average 82 pounds. Japanese surrender documents. 142,000 South Pacific starvation deaths. Last Tokyo Express captain, Ensign Hiroshi Tanaka, survives Kula Gulf. Transferred submarine service. Sunk by USS England, May 1944. Body never recovered. Night doctrine spreads. Leyte Gulf, Iwo Jima, Okinawa. Japanese combined fleet disbands April 1944. Guadalcanal cost. Marines, 1,600 killed, 4,200 wounded. Navy 35 ships, 6,800 killed. Result, Japanese empire starved island by island. John McCain promoted Rear Admiral 1945. Son submarine commander. Grandson presidential candidate. Alan McFerrin dies training accident July 1944. Posthumous Legion of Merit. William Abbott fishes Florida 1960s. Final customer. Small boat sank big empire. Final night patrol ends. Empire starves. Did you know Japan owned Pacific Nights in 1942? America turned their darkness into kill zones using radar plows, ADFT wooden boats. 62,000 troops sank before seeing Guadalcanal. Full story drops now.